This week on Video Game Tango, analysts have plenty to say about the Saudi Arabia acquisition of EA games. Then just a reminder, always pay for protection or Xbox is gonna give you ads. Next up, as resident patent law experts, we explain to you in great depth how patent law works and why the Nemesis system is bad. After that, things get cool and medieval knights ride velociraptors into battle in DINOLORDS. And finally, we read your comments.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'd love for a subscribe and a like, but don't like and subscribe us. That's patented.
Hi, I'm Josh, and ads have gotten so bad, Don Draper's stopped drinking.
And my name's Andy. This is Video Game Tango. Noise floor. Just what? Yeah.
I thought we were doing.
No, I asked Josh twice if he was ready.
I love he said yeah, and like we started news flow, you immediately went to your phone.
He's yeah.
Well, I got my fives, getting my notes up.
That's fair.
When you ask me if I'm ready, that means I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, you know.
But most of the time you're in Facebook Messenger.
No, man, I'm Action Jackson. How dare you? How dare you?
No. Yeah, you're over there, Mr.
Wow.
You are Mr. Messenger.
I really hope we keep this in. This is what you get before the podcast. If
That's
you ever
true.
want to come join us.
That's true. Witch pouches, juiced corn.
Yep.
And Josh's ever needing love for, I don't know.
He's
whatever.
ready.
He's ready.
Yeah.
We're all ready.
Yeah.
Welcome to Video Game Tango. We are going from here. We had enough of a noise floor. This is staying in. We are a video game podcast, and we got fun here.
We have fun here.
Oh, Josh.
The chair collapse.
We had so much fun his chair collapsed.
Oh, my God.
Okay, technical
Wow. This is a
difficulties
mess.
aside,
Oh my
what
God.
are we talking about today?
No, I love the chaos. We are talking today about video game news. We've got some stuff from all of us here today. We've got
It's so specific.
Honestly, guys, it's a little bit of follow-up from last week. We're going to be hitting up a little bit of some EA stories. We're going to be kind of just looking into what some of us consider the downfall of fucking Xbox. And then we're going to have a nice, lovely topic that we've been kind of ripping into every week, a little different.
Patent law.
yeah. Let's get today's main topic is going to be patent law. That's not a joke.
I didn't want to give anything away. Thanks.
Don't run away.
And then
You're going to get 40,000 gamer points if you listen to the whole thing.
with a nice little treat at the end, a little palate cleanser to end on a happy note, which is a new thing we're trying.
Well, and then at the end, we're going to be talking about your comments that you left on our YouTube. So make sure you go to youtube.com /at Video Game Tango and leave comments because we will read them on the show.
We will.
All right, let's get right into it. So, last week we talked about EA being purchased by Saudi Arabia and a couple other hedge fund
Still a
groups.
strange sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. So we just have a little bit more details, and then stock market analysts, financial analysts, analypists, those ones.
The analypists.
They have been jumping into this and weighing in on what they think this means, where they think it's going, and it looks interesting. So we talked about it. It was somewhere between 50 and 55 billion sale that happened last week from the Saudi Arabia Improvement Fund or whatever that's called.
PIF.
Yeah, PIF. Is that what it's called?
The Public Investment Fund?
That's the one. And Jared Kushner's firm, and then somebody else.
The Kush Bush.
Well, that's what you said. So it's looking like their total debt load is about $20 billion because they were buying stocks at much higher price than what they were worth on the market.
With a B.
Of course, they did go private thereafter. So $20 billion in debt load, despite the fact that Saudi Arabia has a lot of money. And this is coming from wealthy hedge fund money as well. They're going to want to turn a profit, and they're probably going to want to do that pretty quickly. So having scoured the internet and read plenty of what people assume is going to be kind of the timeline, and we'll be very general here and give it plenty of space to breathe, but the general timeline is looking like pretty quickly BioWare and Maxis are probably either going to be sold off, massively downsized, or they're going to spin it into something different, like maybe integrate people from Maxis and BioWare into other parts of the company. All of those things are definitely potentials in the pipeline. It is guesstimated that that's going to be happening in probably like 6 to 18 months after the deal closes. On top of that, between 6 and 12 months post deal, we're probably looking at pretty steep studio consolidation and cost cutting, meaning layoffs. So the leveraged buyout adds roughly $20 billion in debt, necessitating aggressive cost management. There's redundant support teams, overlapping studio roles, and non-profitable projects are expected to be cut. The predicted actions are layoffs across marketing, publishing, QA, and middle management, potential closure or merger of smaller studios. An example is EA Motive and Ripple Effect, and consolidation of development resources under larger hubs such as EA Vancouver and DICE. Analyst expectations are reductions could total 10 to 20% of staff over 18 months, depending on debt servicing pressure.
Yikes.
Yeah, so just knowing that they have a $20 billion financial load on them right now means that there's probably going to be quick action. As soon as this deal looks to be approved and it's going through the end of the approval process here, we could be seeing within the next year some pretty massive cuts. On top of that, though, they're probably going to be selling their... some of their methods of monetization, but more likely their underused IPs. So we did talk a little bit about in last week's podcast how several of the studios have some underutilized IPs: Dead Space, Command and Conquer, SSX. Army of Two, but there's plenty of fairly beloved IPs owned by these studios that they could load off pretty quickly to, I think, other studios like that. Like, honestly, who wouldn't want to pick up Command and Conquer? Sell them. Yes. Sell the rights to produce games under the names of Command and Conquer, SSX, Army of Two, because Army of Two was a kind of a
big deal.
Yeah, it was it wasn't that big of a game, but everybody that played it, it was universally enjoyed.
Army of 3 would be dope.
For sure. And why not Army of 4? We got super good online play nowadays. Great co-op game. If you haven't played that, play it with a friend. Make sure you're not playing it by yourself.
Yeah, it's not Army of 1.
It is a lot of fun. Like, if you're into Gears of War at all and you want to play something similar to it, but a little bit more tactical and strategic, arguably, then Army of 2 is awesome. Command and Conquer, beloved franchise, hugely underutilized over the years, and they own that. Dead Space, Dead Space has been the second and third Dead Space games weren't great. They came out with the Dead Space remake, and it sold like fucking hotcakes, though. So if you could revitalize that franchise, that could be a good thing. Honestly, I think these franchises would be better in the hands of other studios or other publishers nowadays. So I don't
certainly better than the hands they're going into currently.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Honestly, the more beloved, the more I want them out of EA's hands.
Yeah, like the quicker they spin out BioWare or do whatever they're doing with BioWare, the better in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Now, it is, of course, assumed that they're going to be keeping their sports games franchises, and especially things that they can do kind of endless monetization on, right?
Yeah.
So the FC crowd, football.
Madden, NFL, The Sims, FIFA, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, NBA Live.
Yep.
Those are kind of like their top ones they'll probably keep. You know?
We recently talked about how there was probably never going to be a Sims 5, right? And that's because people still continue to buy Sims 4 DLC in droves, and it's a franchise that, while beloved and everybody kind of wants a fifth one, it makes so much money. It doesn't make monetary sense to invest in making a new one when they can use current tech. They could keep staffing really minimal, and they can just come out with more assets and more ways to improve, or however you might view it, on the Sims 4 platform, as it were. So not likely that they're going to be getting rid of Max's titles and stuff like that. So it's interesting knowing that that they need to make up $20 billion as quickly as possible. Really kind of does spill the beans on what the
wonder-
actions are likely to be.
What their yearly profit has been the last couple of years. I'll
Yeah.
look it up while we're talking here.
Yeah, good question. So there's creative risks as well. Now that it's in the hands of Saudi Arabia, they are a different culture than cultures in the West. Who's to say what kind of features they may remove from upcoming titles? You know, the sports games are all probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, games like The Sims, where you can have like outwardly gay characters, and there's, you know, things like LGBTQ plus iconography and things like that in the game. What's going to happen to that, right? Like there's still plenty of questions up in the air as far as like how that culture is going to be integrated, or how our culture rather is honestly going to be integrated into games going forward. Are they going to make retroactive action in removing some of that stuff?
I'd be surprised.
I
if
would
they
be too.
Did anything.
Same. Like I was going to say, the smart money says that they do nothing, that they allow it to run as the money making.
All this stuff's
stuff
happening
that it is.
overseas.
Yeah.
You know, they're making money from Americans buying these
They are.
games.
However, Saudi Arabian, they're not. Sorry, they're not going to be able to enjoy any of those fun, expressive features,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
but
they'll probably, what if they do at home is one thing, but
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. It's like, why you risk shooting yourself in the foot? You just spend all this money.
I would be too. At the end of the day, the dollar is God, and I don't think that they would do anything to outwardly risk additional monetization and additional sales.
I don't know enough about economy and money numbers to know like exactly what this means, but it looks like their gross revenue averages around $6 to $7 billion the last 10 years.
Okay.
Actual profits probably about between 700 million and 1.1 billion for like the last 5 years.
I mean,
COVID throws kind of weird
Yeah.
things in there. But like actual profit, yeah, it's only about $1 billion.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at actual profit, then we're talking 20 years. If there is no upset to it, 20 years to start turning a profit. Well, to break even.
Yeah, to break even. Yeah.
If you look at the tenure of EA games, like that's 30% of the lifespan of EA as it is now.
spoiler: private finance doesn't wait that long.
Nope.
Right. Yeah. No, it doesn't. So they are going to be trying to turn a quick buck for sure. Layoffs are totally inevitable. So not only just staff reduction, but we did talk about how they do plan on increasing the use of AI in games as well. So beyond just trying to turn a profit, and being additionally profitable, the whole industry is starting to integrate AI, whether we want it or not. Yep. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that later in another story. But yeah, no, it doesn't look. It's an interesting time, especially with economy kind of dictating what these companies are doing lately, and AI coming into the mix. There's a lot of huge variables kind of shaking up the gaming industry, and an acquisition like this, all in the middle of that, seems to additionally complicate things further. And it's kind of a wild ride. We're going to be sure to kind of keep an eye on this because it's so different than what the gaming industry has been. It's been mostly, I mean, you've essentially had the Japanese gaming industry and the Western gaming industry. You know, Europe has a pretty flourishing gaming industry. The United States and North America has a pretty flourishing gaming industry. There are burgeoning markets, of course, but those have kind of been the key industries. Now we're starting to see expansion into, you know,
none of them have been owned by a state government.
Right. Yeah. None of them have been owned by a state government. So it's all very new, and it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. I don't have my breath held for good things, to be quite honest. This looks like trouble in the water to me. But
I believe the word is dystopian, honestly.
Well, yeah.
If we're like being real about it, that's honestly the word to use.
Yeah.
In this case,
but who knows? It could mean some good things for some franchises as well. But I expect that to be that these beloved IP are being released by EA and Saudi.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, ultimately, I feel like this is a hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst because, you know, private finance.
Yeah.
Speaking of prepared for the worst, apparently in the debacle of raising prices for the Ultimate Game Pass edition, well, I mean, Microsoft said, "Hey, what if there's an affordable way to let players have this Game Pass thing?" So they're trying out ads in cloud gaming. So there's going to be a lovely little tier where you don't pay anything, but there's ads.
Yeah.
Now, where are those ads going to be? Who can say? You know what really keeps me immersed in a game is watching a Bajingo Casino ad play 5 times in a row, or Merge Clans, or you know, that's really gonna keep me engaged. To me, it feels like Xbox is trying to like speed run its destruction between the raising their console prices to what seems astronomical on a nearly 6-year-old console to the 50% price increase, which they then, you know, taco out of there. Immediately started walking that back because their website crashed from cancellations. And then now they're like, hey, what about ads in games? That's literally like what the bad guys want in Ready Player One. Like that's what the bad guys want. The antagonists in a God bless America, Joshua. That's what the antagonists want. So
that's just your hourly ad for Microsoft that you have to watch.
Yeah,
just so everybody knows, Josh's phone went off. They probably didn't hear that because our setup is awesome.
I'll tell you what happened. Put my money down on this. They saw how much money mobile games get by shoving ads in the middle of gameplay and thought, why not do that on console? I'll tell you why. The vast market share of gamers playing on the phone is not equivalent to the people playing on console or, God forbid, PC, right? You have the people that are just mindlessly playing whatever game came bundled with their latest software update. Don't even bother uninstalling them, you know. This is entirely different markets. And if you have people hopping on to play their 1 hour of Apex Legends or Overwatch or Battlefield after work, and they're getting ads between matches, no, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
That is going. You think your price increase on your monthly subscription is going to have backlash? Oh my gosh.
Also, because like, I mean, and the nightmare scenario here for me is maybe it's not even you. Maybe it's your poorer friend, Jimothy.
Yeah.
Jimothy from Ukraine. He's got the ads, you know? Dang it.
Ooh,
that
of ads.
He's got the ads. It's bad. And instead of like everybody loading into a match, it's like, oh, well, Jimothy's got an ad. But then Microsoft's like, nope, you all have an unskippable ad now. Because you got to wait for Jimothy. He's your friend. You wouldn't leave him behind.
You might as well watch an ad too.
Like that is literally the nightmare scenario that's fucking coming.
I don't know about that. They'll probably serve the same ad to the same people during loading screens, and then you'll probably see them. You know, I imagine like a world where like GTA 6, like all of your billboards have ads that they can swap out at any time they want. Like they just do a quick update to the server, and it's going to have ads.
One thing. Yeah,
that's how I imagine a lot of the implementation, because that is what has been kind of talked about more recently. We talked about the AI serving ads in video games and how it would auto update, like sprays on walls.
These kinds of people.
Sure.
Real quick before we leave chain of thought, if they're going to throw up Pepsi and friggin' I don't know, LG ads on billboards in GTA 5. What are they going to do when the YouTube videos blow up? People are doing heinous shit in front of those ads and uploading it to TikTok or YouTube.
Facts.
That's not going to be good for your brand. I promise you, those GTA RPers are going to come up with some stuff. You know?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this gets. Like, honestly, I hate the idea of ads in my games. Of course, like it's disgusting, but it's kind of like watching a train wreck. Like
it's hard to look away.
It's really hard to look away, and I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like and how egregious it can be. Not looking forward to it, but I'm interested.
Just go install them.
So
that's what it's going to look like.
Some of the deets are going to be you don't need a Game Pass subscription, and some of the games that you're going to be able to play on it are games that you already own with an ad now. Games that you already rent.
Yeah.
With an ad now. So fun. It's going to be some free play day games and like some of those demos maybe expanded out. So again, more like an advertisement for the games that you'll have to, again, pay to rent later.
Wait, did you just say the last of ads?
Yeah, need for commercial.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Perfect. And then and what's also going to be available is Xbox Retro Classics. Now that's already a thing for on the Xbox dashboards, and it's a lot of retro titles from the 80s and 90s from Activision. Mm-hmm. Also, your sessions are going to be like capped out at like 5 hours. So even if you do the ad thing,
limit on
then there's also a time limit on it as well. So don't worry. Now, the time limit thing is, of course, that's just now in this structured thing that's really only available for Xbox employees while they're testing it out. But this is literally the nightmare scenario for video games, and this is the finalization of the horse armor. This is where video games come to die, because do you remember when Netflix was ad free? I do. Mm-hmm. It's not anymore. Do you remember when all the streaming services? I do. Now I pay for ad free, and those some bitches slip ads in anyway, even though I'm paying to not watch ads.
Yeah.
So
insert expand domain meme here.
So for right now, that means pretty soon you're gonna have to. Boy, you thought the price on Xbox Ultimate Game Pass right now was rough. Wait till you have to pay for it so you don't get ads, because you're just gonna have ads in Ultimate Game Pass here. TikTok.
We talked about it before, how it's like it used to be that streaming services didn't have ads, and then they had ads, like you just said, you pay for them to get rid of them, and now you get them even if you pay for them. And then we talked about before, like, why is it so hard to have retroactive compatibility with games? I don't think it's hard. I'm just realizing now they just found a way to monetize it. And instead of how it used to be, it was like, we promised this console will play the games you already owned from last console. Now they say, hey, here's this year's bundle of classic games for $69.95 that works on the newest version. Yeah, why retrofit things to work with stuff you already own when you can just charge people again, you know?
Yeah. And
thanks, Brain.
It's an infant money glitch. Well, speaking of a dystopian future, let's go.
Keep trucking.
Let's go back to AI.
Yay!
Man, okay, so this Nick has been looking forward to this moment for most of the night.
Need his novel reaction.
Yeah, give me one moment to cue that up. But Elon Musk showed off in the last day or two how he plans on using Grok to make video games, and has a plan to have a fully AI-generated game before the end of next year, 2026. Let's go ahead and take a look at the concept here.
Are you watching this, Josh? That's it?
Yep, that's it. So it basically shows a first-person view of, I assume, a soldier with some kind of AR-style rifle.
We're on a Roomba?
Yeah.
We're just kind of...
The funny thing is, I fed this to AI to see what it said about it, and it says a soldier on a unicycle goes through the streets in first person fighting tanks that are on fire.
Yeah, the tanks are just kind of on fire slightly, and he's just shooting in the middle of the screen and the gun flashes.
Yeah, I mean the map looks believable enough, but
like the background seems.
Watch the shells getting ejected from the gun.
Like it's just
they tear apart in midair and they're like shotgun shells.
Even if they were to make this look good in a year, where's the game?
Yeah, where's the game?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You shooting tanks?
I mean, it's just bad shooting tank simulator.
Yeah,
and these tanks are on fire, and I'm sure that's because the prompt said tanks firing at each other.
Yeah.
But now they're permanently on fire. There's also a third inexplicable fire in there that you can't quite understand. It's well, it looks like fucking garbage, is what it looks like.
I'm sure it'll have a stupid name like Cybertruck X War. Like what? I mean,
well, it's a studio that's called XAI, so there's that. It's probably going to be X Wars or something like that. And well, listen,
we're gonna call it X Games.
X Games, dude.
That's not copyrighted.
They just can't. So it's not only that, but they also plan on producing movies. He said by the end of 2026, we should also see a fully AI generated movie, potentially in theaters.
Much more reasonable.
Sure, especially I've been watching a shitload of Sora 2 generated stuff, and it's honestly it's bananas. Like it still has some problems sometimes with like fingers and keeping faces looking the same.
All it takes is a little retrospective and think about what AI looked like a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. Like movies, easy within a few years.
Oh yeah,
I would bet money are going to be full length. Right, games. It just seems bizarre to try to make a game, like he said, fully from AI. It's like, how do you keep the mechanics concrete? What do you do? Like, who's going to fix the code if like the code is full of hallucinations, right? Are you going to pay a bunch of people to comb through this stuff to fix it? Then just pay them in the first place to make the game, you know? Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Listen. There's gonna have to be people there. Like just straight up, AI isn't in a place yet that there can't be. Like
we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to at least feed the fucking prompts.
It's gonna be hilarious.
It's again, it's gonna be interesting is the word that I would use.
If he sells it in a traditional model, I would say 80,000 copies sold.
Unless it's free. You can download the launcher on x.com.
It only costs you your eyes.
Yeah, and your sanity. But to your point, like this is like Sora 2 just launched to the public. I've been using it for a little while now, but Sora 2 just launched to the public and kind of turned into a social media platform. It already kind of was, but they've made it more social media-y in the last few days, because it's been about a week since Sora 2 went public and had an app. This is the worst AI is going to look.
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
It's the worst it's
going to look
because it looks better. Like so fast.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I watched a compilation of Will Smith eating spaghetti. Somebody's been kind of like cataloging Will Smith eating spaghetti with the different
prompt in
LLMs and putting the same prompt in, and the way it's evolved is absolutely crazy. I mean, at this point, you can't distinguish reality from AI when it, as far as it comes to Will Smith eating spaghetti.
In this one, there's a bit of overlap, but no, that's true. Yeah. That's the one thing you got to get down first.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's talk about patent law.
Oh yeah, patent law. You think you know anything? Well, you don't when it comes to patent law. Patent law is the discrete math of lawyer stuff. It is the rocket physics of objections. As if I've learned anything today in all of my 1 hour of research, patent law is strange, bizarre, and you might need a not extortionist. What's you get the bad demon out of you?
An exorcist.
Extorting
the devil.
Extorting the devil right out of you.
Not too long ago, recent history, Nintendo filed some patents. And because they've been in this imbroglio with Pal World, it made the news. And I was concerned when I read all these headlines.
Yeah.
Like they're patenting, catching creatures fighting other creatures with your creatures.
I read it all as
stuff.
summoning creatures.
Summoning
That was
creatures,
that was the big headline for me.
And I managed to find 2 different videos from lawyers. One of them a patent lawyer, one of them a regular type lawyer, like, fighting ground, I think would be his typing.
Sure, yeah.
As
He's the
Pokemon-
mercenary of lawyers.
Fighting normal. Yeah. And it's not as bad as I thought. It's worse. But it's not bad. It's just worse. And I'll explain that in a second. So patent law is very specific. The way one of these videos described this is if you were to picture your company as a country, your copyright is like your military. It is there day to day to protect you from threats, which in this case is usually going to be like pirates selling free copies of your software, that kind of stuff, things that other companies are going to care about if you're going after copyright claims, right? Your trademark is your borders. It's what surrounds your brand, which is your country. You can't lose that, right? The brand is the important thing. The patent is a weapon of mass destruction. It is a big stick, a nuke that you wield using hopefully only soft power to tell people, don't infringe on this one specific thing, otherwise I will use it against you and it's going to suck for everyone involved. And looking a little bit back through big patent fights, one of the big ones in probably you, dear listeners' memories, was the Apple Android iPhone stuff. I don't know if it's been a long time since then, but that was a $1 billion lawsuit that stretched on for a long time, like who can make what kind of smartphone, these kind of things.
Well, and not even just one lawsuit. It was dozens, hundreds of lawsuits.
That was
like,
the nuke started getting thrown. The Cold War turned hot, right?
The Samsung Galaxy lineup introduced a physical home button.
Yeah, it's little stuff like that.
Yeah,
that,
right.
It blows up. There are a lot of video game related patents. We'll get into how I feel that in a second, but we're talking today about a few notable ones. The Nemesis System, patented by WB back in the Shadows of War and Shadows of Mordor games. And the 2 most recent patents, I think, that were Nintendo making the news were related to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet regarding their Pokemon mounts changing forms, as well as one of their Pokemon games where there's these semi-autonomous battles you can do by throwing your Pokemon out and they meander on their own and fight Pokemon. What I learned from these videos, to put it in a nutshell, is that patents are very, very, very specific, and it's very hard to understand the actual laws themselves. So news articles tend to be broad about them. And the problem is a lot of these very, very specific things sound horrific when you make them broad, right? One of the quick answers got boiled down is like, if you have this system you have a mount in a game and it's a land mount, it's a motorcycle or animal, doesn't really matter. But if you it can fly, you can like turn it into a flying mount. Or if it gets into water, it turns into a water mount, right? On the surface, if that was patented, that seems ridiculous because patents have to follow a bunch of restrictions before they can be accepted. One, they have to be novel. There is a very legal definition of what that novelness means. 2, they cannot be obvious. I think the description they use is if someone of average skill in the subject matter would consider it obvious for this thing to be done, then it can't be patented. There's a handful of other things. But it's how they describe these things. And in specific, for example, the mount one, it's that you have a character in 3D space being processed by a software, and by tilting the stick downwards and allowing the in-game's artificial gravity to bring your mount to the ground, it will then automatically convert to the land style of mount. What that means is if someone were to make the exact same model of mount, the exact same name and all that, but require you to press a button to change from its flight form to a land form, that patent no longer applies, technically. In reality, what this means is these patents that are being passed shouldn't concern the day-to-day person, but what they do is they cast massive, chilling shadow over game development. Game development being a creative exercise. Anybody who is in an indie company trying to make games cannot hope to ever compete with like a AAA company's law studio. So if you see these things being patented, that's an option you can no longer risk to make a game mechanic similar to. Like how similar is enough to draw Nintendo's ire, right? And then you find out this other thing is patented. This other thing is patented. Suddenly you realize if you look at all these patents, game design space is Swiss cheesed with legal death knells that if you do it too close to what they're doing, they might consider suing you. And it is the fear, the threat of that nuke, right, of that patent being used in the court that can stymie growth and creative expression of not only indie gamers, but other major companies, right? No one wants to start throwing nukes at each other because it can happen.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not bad, these individual patents. It's worse in the sense that, in my opinion, we are finding ways of taking chunks out of a creative art form. You know, I was trying to think of an analogy to like books or movies or music. You know, it's like, imagine if you could like patent certain plot lines in TV shows or movies. Like that was the best analogy I could get to like some of these patents they're doing in video games, right? It's one thing to patent, like for me, the code of something. We found a novel way of using camera, you know, code to create a new way for the camera, you know, this meta subject, but to like be patenting an action in the game itself, like changing a mount. It's not like, you know, you've got a new line of programming code or something that you could patent. It's like we found a quicker way to make the camera switch from first person to third person. It just doesn't seem like something that should ever be patentable to me. And so to wrap it up, this isn't Nintendo's fault. It's not the person's fault who allowed the patent to be gone through or the examiner who checked their sources for this. One of the sources for some of these was from Fandom Wiki, because apparently the examiners have to pull up the sources themselves. The problem is with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. You know, we have a antiquated system run by people and using metrics and heuristics that do not vibe with the modern day of how these things work. And it's just one more problem with our government, which is outside of the scope of this podcast. That said, Josh has done, and you, I believe, have a bit more research about the Nemesis system that happened about 4 years ago, WB, which is more egregious, in my opinion.
I will say one more final thing about this, that Nintendo actually did file this in the U.S. office. Because the U.S. office, in the Japanese patent office, a gameplay idea has to be linked to an innovation, because otherwise that's a creative idea.
Patents are territorial. They depend entirely on which market you're selling in.
Yeah. So I will say they did use our weaker patent office to like, because, you know, the EU and the Japanese market, patent markets do have more stringent rules. So now the one that we're talking about from WB and, you know, Monolith, now, you know, closed.
The devs who made the thing in the first place.
Yeah, the devs who made the thing in the first place is the Nemesis patent. So what is the Nemesis patent? The Nemesis patent is Nemesis characters, forts, social vendettas, and followers in computer games. And what it's covering is non-player characters or NPCs in the Mordor, the Shadow of War games, right? So an NPC that evolves or changes in response to past game events, for example, an NPC that you've beaten before may recover and later confront you again. A system includes changing character parameters such as stats, behaviors, personality, armors, right? All this stuff after certain events. So you beat them, they beat you, however, right? And then this is including but not limited to relationships, hierarchies, what happens in factions, forts and strongholds, and followers of said factions. It can also include outputting of indications to these changes. So amped up music or visual stimulation or what have you. So that's that is very broad. It's a lot of things. And honestly, to me, these are things that, I mean, I've been playing RPGs for years. These don't seem like innovative things. An NPC that you defeat but comes back stronger and more of a smartass? Has it? I mean, what is that not? Is that not just a normal occurrence at every TTRPG table? How many NPCs
You have a recurring villain.
to have a recurring villain? How is that not a common trope? I don't understand that.
It's even more egregious because you don't have to have defeated them. It's the act of the antagonist remembering your actions and changing their behavior towards you because of those.
Do you have the patent number on that?
I do have the patent number on that. So that is patent US 10,926. 179, or so it's 10,926 179B2.
Okay. Yeah, it's rough because this is, I think, it's more egregious to me because this seems like it is even weaker of a claim than something like this mount switching system.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, because like one of the things the patent lawyer pointed out that these people get up to all hinky, it's like, well, if this is such an obvious thing and we can't make a patent out of it, why hasn't anyone done it before? And it's like, maybe they have, but it was like an indie game that sold like 3 copies, or the fact that no one bothered to do it because it's already done 80% of that way in most games, like a mount, you press a button to take off. Like, so for you to find like something that's one shade, a different color, and then say, no, you can't do this one, this is extremely broad. And it comes to that point where it's like, if you're going to be that broad and you're going to have this nuke waving around, you can't have characters evolve and change, their opinion of you. It's like, does WB, you think they'd ever use that nuke? Because like there's been games since that have had similar systems, not enough to probably legally uphold in court, but like, let's say EA, Activision, somebody, I don't know, puts out a game with a system 80% similar to Nemesis, a hierarchy of things. Maybe they can't fight each other to progress, but everything else is the same. Like, you think WB would like go to war over that kind of stuff? Because like you're essentially saying you will. If you're going to go to the trouble to patent this stuff, you're going to have to back it up, right? Otherwise, you will lose your patent. I think patents last 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay a fee.
You just have to pay a renewal fee for your license. Now, they do have an end date depending on the type of patent, but yeah.
I don't know. It's again, it just casts that pall. Like, think of how many games could have used a similar mechanic since this game came out that we'll never know if they got made or not because of the fear of litigation. Yeah. So,
or if they had to change their system,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for what it's worth in the gaming industry, even to remove Nintendo from the equation because they are endlessly litigious. As far as like Western game studios, usually unless it's like a major like ripoff, they don't necessarily. I see, Josh. Thank you. Sorry, guys. His camera froze. I don't know that there's anything that I can actually do about that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. But
join me.
There's generally some level of camaraderie. I mean, you have to look at how many people have changed studios and gone to different publishers in the industry. Like, it's kind of a revolving door industry within itself. So they don't often go after each other for patent issues. Generally, when they do, they reach a quick settlement, and a lot of times the settlement is, we will implement it in a slightly different way. That said, it does set precedents, right? Like, it doesn't take a vivid imagination to imagine a world where these guys are going after each other to protect their patents, just because it could equal additional income. Right.
It could, yeah. It's just, it depends on if there's going to be a lawsuit, and that's what I mean. It's like, I could see a big company potentially risking it, but again, big companies, they're like predators, right? They love to pounce on prey, but like an animal in the wild does not want to get injured, like under any circumstance, and they would rather risk going hungry than, getting
Biting
even
off more than they can
mildly
chew.
injured. Yeah, because you're going to die from an injury out in the wild. These companies are kind of like that, right? Like, is it worth these lawsuits, or do we just not make a game in that vein? You know. But then you have the actual end user experience. It's like, oh, recurring villains is now patented if they're part of a hierarchy. It's like, I mean, like any TTRPG or novel ever written about, like an evil hierarchy, it's wild that it can be patented in games and it just exist at all,
Definitely, especially considering that they're creative arts, right? Like
that's the sticking point.
Yeah,
You're not making
really
a new pacemaker.
Exactly. We're not talking about like brand new. In some cases, it's new technologies, but it's a new coat of paint on an old technology. Like we don't see massive industry breakthroughs anymore in games. Really, I mean, there are new interesting systems and mechanics that are brought to it. Every now and then, there's even like a genre defining change. Every now and then, there's a new genre. But imagine if somebody were to say like patent battle royale, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are the first to come out with battle royale and you patent every part that makes it battle royale, then nobody else can compete. And patent office isn't necessarily to reduce competition. It's just to ensure that when you invent something, when you create something new, that you get credit for it, and you get money
from it. Because at the end of the day, again, it's about money, right? Well, it's about securing a lead in whatever novel idea you have to try to, at the very least, recoup your costs. But in a lot of these cases, like Nintendo, multiply your costs in profit dozens of times over, right? Which gets kind of to my conclusion, just to be short. We live in a society. We can't get rid of this. This is not going to change overnight. I hate eating the lesser of two evils, but there's got to be a better answer here. And for me, first thoughts that comes to mind is a Band-Aid. Either I know a profit limit would be way complicated and not good to put forward, but a time limit of less than 20 fucking years.
Yeah, it's wild that it's 20 years.
If this is a creative art form, you get 5.
Yeah.
Like 10 seems way more than enough. But this Pokemon makes, was it? I said 28 billion units sold of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at $60 a copy, and the production cost was $150 million.
Yeah, they made 23 times the
something like that. Yeah, it's
their initial investment.
Ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, it's insane amounts of money. Like when these are multi-billion-dollar projects.
And come on, WB, you're not going to make another Shadows of War game, right? You made the second one, it kind of flopped. The first one did okay, and even if you do, it's not going to make a lot of money.
And I mean, even if it might if they wait long enough. Like honestly, this game has to be out of everybody's mind before they can give it to another studio
and
to have them make
to wait long enough because they have 20 goddamn years.
But I don't know. Like honestly, the way the industry is, we're getting remakes within a couple of years.
Well, like that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily need to be a remake of Shadows of War. It's just that. The how the Nemesis reacts, right?
Yeah.
Now, like what's wild to me is the people who maybe made this, who developed it at Monolith Games and are now working somewhere else because, their studio got shut down, can't use the thing that they developed to make a game if they don't work for a WB studio. So like that's weird.
It's a way more fundamental problem with how companies work.
Yeah, the whole
get full rights to whatever their employees create.
Well, it's not even just that. It's studio plus publisher. That relationship has always been pretty fucking toxic. Yeah. It's the same thing in the movie industry. It's the same thing in the music industry. The ability to publish and distribute and having the funds to do so it's always been prohibitively expensive. And on top of it, patent law often keeps people from being able to do so. Like you as an individual entity cannot self-publish an album and make CDs. Like the internet has democratized that quite a bit, but if you want to get your album on a CD, you have to go to one of the publishers that has bought the rights to use Sony's proprietary DV or CD technology, right? Or Philips, I think, for CD. So yeah, it's an endless string of patents makes this all prohibitively expensive to do yourself, or is purposely designed to make you reliant upon a publisher, right?
It's an endless string of people who already had money trying to keep other people from getting money.
So they can take your money.
So they can take it. That's what it boils down to.
That is what it boils down to. Capitalism, baby! Yeah.
American dream.
Well, hey, you guys get everything out of your system as far as patents go?
I feel like we covered most of it.
We
get 5 years.
Dude, one more thing. Honestly, if we just went to the way patents were meant to be used, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
It's just that it's only the rich that can afford to patent things first.
And to defend them.
And to defend them, or to litigate against people that are breaking their patent.
Yeah.
So there's that issue, because patents were like an ideal thing back in the day. It would be frequent that an inventor would go to a large company with an idea so they could procure funding, and the company would just steal the technology and use it themselves. The patent was invented so you could come to the patent office with your new invention, patent it, and then as you were seeking funding, these people that you're seeking funding from could not steal your idea because you owned the patent on the device. Now that still happens in ways, but they have to deviate enough from the patent that hopefully you still have a fighting chance of your invention or your new product to make you some money. You should be able to reap the rewards of something that's self-created, right? So in an ideal world, that's how it would work. Unfortunately, again, so many systems make it prohibitively expensive or impossible to defend or impossible to litigate as a small company or a single entity to litigate or defend those patents.
And the poop cherry on top is that we're patenting fucking imaginary software mechanics for a creative thing. Yeah. Like, again, this isn't somebody being like, I made the camshaft, right? You know? Okay, enough of that.
Yeah, let's talk about a thing.
Good thing. So, as a nice palate cleanser, we're changing things up. Don't get your jimmies shuffled.
That's right.
Get them bitten off violently by a Danish T-Rex. I found this game that made my little inner 6-year-old absolutely boondoggled. I got to pull it back up here.
The T-Rex spindle.
It's gone. DINOLORD, I believe, was the name of the game. We previewed. There's DINOLORDS with an S, probably not a Z. Yeah. It's not in the 90s anymore.
Thank God.
We previewed this a handful of months ago. They showed it off. They're like, what if Warcraft or Age of Empires, but dinosaurs, and set in the like Norman, Danish, Nordic invasion of England around the year 1000.
It's like someone made a game out of a dream I had.
As soon as you're done introducing it, yes.
I'm done.
Okay.
Everybody knows what a dinosaur is. So this game kind of took me by surprise. This is their closed alpha trailer. Again, published by Ghost Ship Games. They don't miss, right? Deep Rock, all the other ones. I try to think. Yeah, this, it looks like an RTS, right? But there's more than one time in here, and they also say in the copy on Steam that you can control like an individual character. So there's going to kind of have this interesting hybrid idea where you will build up a base and you will use dinosaurs. They show like a Triceratops ripping up trees and Brontosauruses moving stuff around. And then you've got knights on raptors and full like horse barding, but it's raptor barding. They got, destructible walls for the forts that you get to build, these castles. And we get to see a little bit of gameplay of like the controlling character breaking as you would a horse, his first Utah raptor looking dinosaur, all nice and color coded because he's blue, the good guys. I do believe you play as the English in this one, but I imagine you can probably play both factions in multiplayer or skirmish mode or whatever. But yeah, they got the little base building. It's probably pretty similar. What is impressive is it looks like a modern game, right? It looks like if someone were to take, and I don't mean this disparagingly, but it's got kind of a mobile game vibe, but it doesn't look like it's shit.
Yeah.
Right? You know, if you go back and look at RTS games, you know, they look their age, even ones that are newer. And this one, it's got a smoothness to it tonight. The knights clashing and the ragdolling. It looks very real and very cool. And I mean, who doesn't love dinosaurs and knights thrown together? Hollywood says they're out of movie ideas. Here you go.
Yeah, dude.
This is literally a dream I've had.
Yeah.
Like I'm not playing, guys. I've seen this.
Dude, we're
Danish landing on the shores and offloading dinosaurs. Come on.
We're getting this. We're also getting that other game where you can like ride a motorcycle in a tank.
Yes.
through-
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome. I'm you know what, dude? But we need just more of this. Like,
Yeah.
why don't we get the just like absurd idea, simple concept, implement it as quickly and well as possible, like as quickly as we can while making a good game.
Because
and put it out.
Nettie's patented
Well,
fun.
Patent law. I was just going to say fucking patent law. God damn it.
It all comes down to patent law. Oh man,
patent
we need
on
blah 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 for his
dinosaurs
law
in
blog.
Ancient England.
Well, that is DINOLORDS. It is
fun.
in
Check it out.
closed. Yeah, it's in closed alpha now. I don't know how to apply.
It's about to. You can sign up for the closed alpha test on Steam. I don't know if they have a release date for it, but it'll be soon.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, before we end things, why don't we take a minute to read some of your comments?
Yeah, we do have fun here, and presumably you had fun leaving these comments.
Well,
so,
I don't. They're not the most fun comments.
well, let's not read them then.
Quarters on Rye says, "This is from our best weapons in video games episode a couple episodes back." You look like you're saying something, Nick.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Is it quarters on rye or quartus on rye?
It is quarters on Rye, which
Okay.
that's all one word.
Don't
It's
put
kind of hard.
currency in your sandwich.
Kind of hard to. Anyways, just a few days ago says preemptively at 7 minutes in, if the Halo Energy Sword isn't mentioned, we're gonna have words. Yep. Well, the Halo Energy Sword was mentioned.
It was honorably.
Yeah, as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
So
We had a
we're
lot
sorry.
to pick from.
Yeah, we were having a lot of fun.
And we had
It was a good time.
30
It was a
seconds
very
to
good time.
prepare.
Yeah. I would like to point out that it is extra egregious that Nick put the plasma grenade on his list and not the plasma sword.
I stand by my opinion.
The plasma
Fuzzy
grenade
spiders.
right next to the start menu. Or
What other game has had fuzzy
Floating.
spider grenades? I mean,
that's true.
not even Ratchet and Clank. They got
true.
like shotguns.
I mean, energy swords, like we talked about. The Master Sword and the White Sword are energy swords. Like, just saying, just throwing it out there. Sorry, Quarters on Rye. The next one, in a very similar vein, was from our last episode where we did our gaming Mount Rushmores. Foreverman 24/7 says, if you were talking about actual video game history and not just Gen Z video game history, then Master Chief should be nowhere near this list. Mario, yes. Link, yes, but Sonic should definitely be on it, and so should Pac-Man. Doom Guy and Lara Croft would be way before Master Chief.
I mean, if we go by age, but like Gen Z was like 5
Yeah.
or 6 when Halo came out.
Right.
We were teenagers.
And I will point out that, I mean, hey, take the comment. Agreed. I didn't do a Mount Rushmore of gaming history. That's kind of where we went, but I did it of consoles.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I should have added, I will say now, absolutely correct. I should have added Sega, and of course, Sonic's going to be the fucking representation of Sega.
Yeah.
I just didn't think to add them because they haven't made a console in 20 years. So, my bad. Yeah. I'll take that.
Formative for gaming, absolutely. Sonic's OG.
Absolutely. I'm going to take that L. I'm going to take it with me. Is
there another world wonder we can convert to video games and be like all the old people? Because like Sonic's geriatric now.
I don't know.
Right? He's like our age.
The only place he's running to is
we'll
to the
discuss that
bathroom.
later. No, in our next episode when we do top 5 monuments to stuff, top 5 monuments that exist.
Bass Pro Shop.
The pyramid of Bass Pro Shop. So I do just want to point out, Foreverman 24/7, that Master Chief wasn't on any of our gaming Mount Rushmores. He was in the thumbnail. You're right there. He was in the thumbnail.
We got to draw in clicks, man. You know how it is.
It was a little clickbaity. I'm sorry. That was me. That was
wanna
me.
Survive nowadays.
So I'm glad I hooked you with that.
Yeah.
Secondly, if we're gonna bring up Mario, yes, Link, yes, they were both on my gaming Mount Rushmore. Sonic was a narrow fifth, but I also did have Pac-Man and Doom Guy. So I had 4 of the 5, or 4 of the 6 that you mentioned. Lara Croft was considered. We even talked about it right before the podcast started. But my argument was that as far as like shooting and action games go, I would put that in like a more of a Zelda. Like we basically have that covered with Zelda and Doom, right? As far as like OG, first of their generation type thing. So I think my list was good.
Yeah, no, your list was good. Honestly,
and I think I also think it addresses your concern because there is not a single Gen Z character in there.
I put George Washington back up there.
Well, I don't know if you saw in the thumbnail, but I couldn't get an AI generated image that didn't include George Washington's fucking lapel on Mario.
I didn't see that. That's fantastic.
It would not remove it. I even use the same prompt to regenerate it, being like same prompt, but don't put George Washington's lapel on it.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna revisit this in a year, and we're gonna get an image made of Mercy with like an OSHA crew with their halo, right? It's like,
so
we fix Mount Rushmore.
I did try to make that happen, because honestly, dude, I was just gonna have Mercy and then question marks around her for the other heads.
Yeah.
But I wanted Mercy to be jutting out so you could. Well, let's just say I wanted it to be more clickbaity than the actual thumbnail was.
Attaboy.
That's I do what I can. And we have fun here.